It is good to be back here, and in this video I have an exciting match. I hope it is an exciting match between Sponking, who is also known as LeeBokGu or Gold SCV, and he's up against the White Terran, played by Barcode as Barcode, which is one of the names that Minchul uses, or Kensei Park. He is one of the top 3 fastest map players in the world, or at least he's considered to be by many players. Whether he really is or isn't, I have no clue. I just know that the guy is a very, very good player. So Sponking is playing Teal Protoss on the bottom middle, and the left middle spot is occupied by Minchul. I'll call him Minchul. I hope I don't butcher the name. Minchul, however you pronounce it. I hope someone can tell me someday, because I doubt Koreans are watching, so I doubt they'll be able to tell me. Yeah, he starts off with the 810 depot, followed by the barracks and the second barrack. LeeBokGu is going for the Nexus first, so he's going to be playing with a little bit of a delay on his first units that he'll have out on the map. He is going for the for a single gateway. That's going to make a pylon that is choke, but it just turns out that Minchul is already scouting him. That's a very, very lucky first scout for Minchul, because this means that he already knows exactly what LeeBokGu is doing. And this is very, very bad for LeeBokGu to be found out so very early on a +1 Nexus build. Although it is in, actually this is in Minchul's. Minchul is only decided to go for 2 barracks and an early academy, so this might actually turn out to be in favor of LeeBokGu, because LeeBokGu has 3 gateways out, and his 3 gateways are, in my opinion, way stronger than those 2 barracks that Minchul will have out on the map. At least Minchul will be able to deny LeeBokGu from getting a choke up. There is a forge, and the first one is about to finish. So this very first Marine will be able to do a little bit of... No, it won't be able to do any damage at all, because the Zealot finishes when it arrives to start hitting the probe line. But he pulls back the Marine. 2 more Marines are walking in, but the second Zealot finishes about the same time that they walk in. So actually these timings are working out to be very much in LeeBokGu's favor. LeeBokGu is trying to do a little bit of harassment with that single Marine, but he micros it away immediately. So he's microing on 2 fronts at the same time. That's some really sick stuff that not many players can do it. Oh, he still loses the Marine. That was pretty sweet micro on 2 fronts at the same time. There are the fire bats. They're just gonna ignore the Zealots and walk right into LeeBokGu's base. LeeBokGu now making a cannon at his choke. The Zealots now chasing the fire bats. The fire bats, will they be able to reach the probes, or will they die before they can deal any damage to the probes? Well, they are getting boxed in, cornered in. Stim upgrade only just now started, so he doesn't even have stim upgrade yet. He's going to have to go for the very slow walk, and he does get there eventually, but the fire bat dies, and he wouldn't even be able to really do much damage to the probes because it didn't have stim. The stim upgrade buffing the damage, so he would be able to do 15, 16 damage. Would take 3 hits. If he had stim upgrade, it would only take 2 hits, because the damage gets increased to over 20 at least. I'm not sure the exact amount by which stim upgrades the damage. I thought it was about double almost, or 50%. I really should know that, given I've played so much Starcraft. I should know that little detail. LeeBokGu now spreading his Zealots out inside of Minchul's base, trying to draw his Marines away from his mineral line, or away from this factory, so he can snipe that SCV. But the factory finishes before LeeBokGu can take it down. Now he's trying to fight the Marines, but the Marines are all stimmed up, and there are way too many Marines for these Zealots to fight into. And now the Zealots at the top are also deciding to pull back. So he's going to take down the SCV that's trying to construct Engineering Bay. Engineering Bay now gets delayed, and there is a little of a dune, so LeeBokGu might be going for very early lags or very early Dark Templars, although he has the 2 robotic facilities out, going for the very usual shuttle into double Reaver build. But he might mix it up, knowing that he has delayed the engineering bay, and might be able to keep delaying the engineering bay, because he's doing quite a bit of harassment with his zealots. That's the downside of going for only 2 barracks. The enemy Protoss can really do a number on you, because you have to micro absolutely perfectly and lose as few Marines as possible. And I have to admit, Minchul has been doing a really good job of microing his Marines, but still, he has been losing some Marines out there, and his army count is very small. So if LeeBokGu gets that double Reaver out and marks it really well with the shuttle, he might just take home the win, because Minchul has a very small army. And while he does have 2 extra CCs, his economy will take a while to ramp up significantly, because it also takes minerals to produce SCVs to begin with. So for the first little while that you have 2 CCs added onto your first CC, you won't really notice the difference all that much. And 3 more barracks is almost finishing. LeeBokGu just testing the waters, checking how many Marines and units Minchul has at his front, and whether he has a choke, how big his choke is, how many units he has placed at his choke, just so he has information for when his Reavers finish and he's gonna fly in with that shuttle. And Minchul having a little bit of a delay on getting his turrets up on the side, which gives LeeBokGu a lot of options actually. LeeBokGu can go in from the side, from the front, and he decides to go in from the side, drop some zealots in there to prevent turrets from going down and getting some information. Minchul immediately sees it, stims his Marine in. Zealot lags have finished for LeeBokGu. LeeBokGu scouting the front and the side, so he knows exactly the amount of units that Minchul has, what the layout of his base is, what buildings he has in the front. And there, the Reavers have finished. The shuttle's picking it up. Storm upgrade is on the way. Shuttle speed is on the way. He's gonna fly that shuttle up into the front, and under the assistance, with the assistance of the Zealots, or you can trim it the other way, the Zealots are gonna go in under the assistance of the Reavers. The Reavers are gonna try to take down the wall in the front, and he hasn't dropped the Reavers yet. He decides to pull back. There's way too many stint Marines behind the bunkers that he cannot access with his Marines. With his Zealots, or safely access with his Reavers. So he pulls back, regroups his units inside the middle of the map, and he's going to wait for the next wave of units to finish. He's going to load them all up into his shuttle, so he might be going for a drop instead of a frontal attack. Maybe he's going to use the shuttles to drop Zealots behind the wall, just to take focus away from the units here in the front, making it easy for him to use his Reavers to focus down the bunkers here, or the depots, or even focus down the tanks with his Reavers. It will force Minchul to focus down the Reavers with his tanks actively, adding to the amount of actions he has to do to fight. But instead of going for the front, LeeBokGu is going for the side attack. He mismanages his shuttle a little bit. He gets spotted because of it, and Minchul has moved his Marines accordingly in response to hopefully intercept LeeBokGu's shuttles. But his Marines are now misplaced. LeeBokGu is coming in from the side of the map, drops his units on the floor. There's 2 Reavers out and a couple of Dark Templars and Zealots. And Minchul doesn't really have anything in position yet to fight it off. He goes in, stims the Marines, but the Dark Templars and the Zealots in the front are taking out most of these Marines. And the Reavers both almost completely untouched, and he picks them both up. Now that all of Minchul's units have been pulled away from his main CC, and there comes the drop. The Reaver gets a shut off, and he even got dropped at the same time, just there. I'm gonna rewind just a little bit, because that looked like a really hard hit. I was so focused on this fight here that I missed it. The shuttle flying in with the Templars from the top side. I should have been right there, because there are turrets there. Couldn't have gone over the front, couldn't have gone here. It has to be from this direction that we see here. And now Zealots are walking in, completely ignoring the bunkers in the front. They're going to focus down the turrets in the north, while a drop is coming in from the south. So he's pulling all of Minchul's Marines away to the top while flying in from the bottom. And there is the Templar. The Templar doesn't die to the siege tank, and it storms, killing all of Minchul's remaining SCVs. And he calls the GG. LeeBokGu wins very quickly with some really nice coordination in his play, making some great choices. Also kind of subject to Minchul misplacing his Marines, although he couldn't have known that Spawn's shuttles would fly in from this direction. But I'm just going to rewind just a little bit to about 7:30, just to get my eyes on the shuttle that flew in from the side, or the front, not the side, because this one was flying in from the side. Just going to speed that up a little bit to 4 times. There it is, picking up the units. There's the Dark Templars. Alright, slowing it down. So here he is picking up the Templars while he's positioning his units there. This is something LeeBokGu is very good at coordinating and multitasking attacks with multiple shuttles and controlling both really well. So here he is controlling his units on the bottom side while flying in his shuttles from the top side. And this looked like a single shuttle is going to go down to the turrets. Actually, no, both survive. He gets the storm off, gets another storm off to kill 31 SCVs with the first one, 32 actually. Single one with the second one, this one gets none at all. And while that was happening, he lost a bunch of units here at the bottom of his base while being completely distracted. And that resulted in... Well, actually, I honestly think that Minchul lost the game right there. It's a really beautiful coordinated attack from LeeBokGu. You just really love those distraction drops flying in from another direction at the same time. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of control, and multitasking. You gotta be very fast to pull it off. But that's beautifully done. Same here, distracting at the top, coming in from the bottom, and finishing him off. And that's a 15 SCV storm. The game ends there. Thank you for watching.